In this tutorial, I'll provide some tips on how to search for different topics that you are wanting to research. So for this example, we'll access some of the databases that are available at the virtual library at La Universidad Autónoma de Aguascalientes. So from the main page, we'll scroll down and click on Biblioteca, Biblioteca Digital. And we're going to go first under those databases that are subscription only. And the first example, we'll use EBSCOhost. Now this is a very common database that can be used to find journals. We're going to click Academic Search here, and then you'll have to enter using your student ID and your password. Okay, now the next step here, you have different options. One thing that you do need to do first before you type in any keywords is to select full text and peer-reviewed journals. And depending on what language you're in, those can be found here down at the bottom. Texto completo en publicaciones académicas. And you'll have to do this each time you come in and do a search, because it's not by default, these are not selected. So this will assure that all of the articles that appear based on your search will be full articles. You'll have access to the entire document, and that they will be peer-reviewed journals. Now at this point, you can type in different keywords. So let's say that you want to investigate something about reading, and maybe you want another keyword, English. Now these are very general terms. Maybe English as a second language. But this is called a Boolean search, and this allows you to search different terms. So in this case, we'll use the operator AND, but you can also use or not. And this will search out, in this case, both of these keywords in the search. So if we click search, hopefully we'll have some options here. We'll find some articles. Now let's say that you don't, or you're unable to find any articles, then you may have to go back here and modify your search, either making it more general or more specific in order for you to find the articles that you need for your study. Now what I would recommend, a lot of you have come to me today asking about different topics that you want to research, and you're not sure which topics that you want to write about. My suggestion would be to go through and do a lot of these different searches, and you can just use EBSCO and see how many different articles come up and see how much information that you can find based on each of the topics that you're considering. If you find that you have or have found a topic that you found a lot of articles about, then that might help you decide which article you want to write about. What you don't want to do is find or choose a topic that you can't find a lot of research on. So you can go through EBSCO and do this search and see if you can find some information based on the different topics that you're considering at this point. Or you can also go back and do the same with other databases. For example, Gale, you can do the same there. You can also, if you want to look for different journals from Oxford, and there's some from Wiley as well. You can find some journals from those databases. If you're interested in books, you can go to Ebrary. Now Ebrary has complete books, and you can again do the same type of search. I would click Advanced, and this gives you a few more options on the different keywords. So you can also do a Boolean search by clicking this plus sign and giving you additional fields that you can use to modify your search. So whenever you are doing a search, try to avoid just a single keyword search, because it could take you longer to find what you're looking for. But do a Boolean search, and you should find what you need. Now when you're in Google, Google also allows you to do a Boolean search, but it's a little bit different. So let's look at the Google main page here. In Google, you can do a Boolean search by typing in the keywords that you want. So let's say reading and English as a second language. Now, There's a couple things to remember in a Boolean search for Google. First is the operators that you use. Let's see if I can, well, I can't get rid of the drop down screen. But the operators you must include in all uppercase letters. So for example, and, we would capitalize each letter. You might choose or not, but all of the words must be in uppercase letters. So once you've done that, then Google recognizes that as a Boolean search and will conduct the search accordingly. So here we have reading and English as a second language. One other tip that I would recommend here is, let's say you're looking for English as a second language as a phrase. Then I would include quotation marks, and when you include quotation marks, it will look for the entire phrase, not the individual words. If you'll notice at the bottom here, Google automatically does a quick search whenever you type in this information in the field. If you do a search without the quotation marks, well, yeah, you will find some phrases because this is a very common phrase. But if it were less common, then if you scroll down here, you'll notice that it also looks for different articles where the words are separated. So you'll notice here language is separate. Perhaps this is not the best example because English as a second language is a very common phrase. So let's say reading. How about EFL reading activities? So if I do this as separate, you'll notice that here we have reading activities, so it separated EFL out of the search. If we scroll down further, we have read as separate, EFL separate. Now, if we go back and add quotation marks, then we see that it should search first for those phrases. So now, the phrases jump at the top of your search, of your findings here. So you'll notice these first three EFL reading activities are all together, right? So you have more hits based on the actual phrase itself, not a search for individual words. Okay, so we have quotation marks, and we have the Boolean search using the operators and, or, and not. Now, I would recommend going through and again doing some quick searches and trying to find some information that pertains to your study, and do that before you make the final decision as to which topic that you do want to write about. Again, making sure first, before you start your writing of your essay, that you are choosing topics that you can find information on. So I hope this helps, and if you do have questions, feel free to ask me in class or send me an email via Moodle.